I think the key understanding, Gary, is to know that the self is meditation, self
Mm,
with the capital S. We
mm,
exist before there's a thought.
yeah. Yeah.
So meditation is just being present.
Hmm.
And that being present is our natural state, which doesn't require any effort. It's effortless to meditate because the self is meditation.
Hmm.
The key is to normalize that. Not, hey, time out from my day. Let me go in my room, light my incense, get my crystals. I love incense and crystals, but let me sort of break free of my daily routine of being me and let me go meditate. I really feel this is backwards. I think it should be the other way around. I think we should be in a perpetual state of meditation, even in our doingness, right? We tap into the beingness and then put the beingness into the doingness. So
Yeah.
now everything becomes meditation. Everything is meditation because the self is meditation. And if the self is driving the bus of the incarnation, everything that we do is a form of meditation. So I think once humanity flips that around, so what that means is we're in a state of meditation, even as we're being active or in doing this. And then if a half hour out of the day, instead of taking a half hour out to go meditate, I'd like to see humanity, if we get triggered for a half hour and the ego mind identity is going nuts about whatever, that's fine. That's fine. Come back and then return to your all day long, all activities within your meditative state
Mm,
instead of the other way around. And it's effortless. And once we do that, I don't think there's our state of being, our quality of life, everything about this experience, this human experience, will be elevated by an order of magnitude just by taking the beingness and putting it into the doingness and remaining as the self, and the self is meditation. I think you're probably right. I think in the beginning, well, I like to say the highest process is no process, but in order to work with the no process, we actually need a process.
yeah.
So we need a process to get to the no process,
It's
which
kind of a
sounds like
joke.
yeah, it's an oxymoron. That doesn't make sense. Or no, but it's true. So I think we need a process, and then it gets to the no process. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, consciously working towards some kind of meditative, just like we would go to the gym or whatever, do yoga. It's like, well, let me take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 2 hours, whatever it is, and let me start to develop this muscle. And then what we'll start to realize, hopefully, is that we never have to come out of that.
Yeah.
We just did a workshop, Gary, in San Diego. And one of the things that we did is we do this transcendent meditation that's in my first book. It's called the spaceship meditation. We go to very, very high frequencies and dimensions. And what I noticed people were doing is that we would have this experience, it would change people, and then they had this conscious action to come back and ground themselves. And really what that means is they're exploring the depth of themselves and their higher mind. They're exploring more of themselves, right? In this expanded state of consciousness. And then they would, quote unquote, come back down the dimensionally and frequentially, come back down here. And then they would come all the way back down. And then the ego mind identity would immediately be present.
Hmm.
So what we did the last time was we would go to this very, very high state of consciousness. And when we're all in it, we're all experiencing it, I literally said, okay, open your eyes.
Hmm.
Now stay that expanded now
Ah. Hmm.
and just continue. I feel that's part of the spiritual fiction of it. You have to ground yourself. Actually, the grounding to me sounds like the justification for bringing back the conditioned mind and leaving behind that expanded state. And I found that the exact opposite is the best way to operate it, to stay in the expanded state even when we're just here and now. And people that started doing that, they said it changed everything for them. But I do believe that to start off with, having some kind of practice is great, and then eventually you'll realize as you're meditating and you're in it, which is really the self, you're deep within the self, just open your eyes and proceed.
Yeah.
Just continue like that, and watch what happens with your life.